What it do? Dream Team, it's your boy D Neal back with another reaction video. Here we are with how can you tell someone is an American without them telling you? I'm interested to see what y'all got to say. Now, before we jump into this, I need you guys to hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell, get a video a thumbs up so it gets suggested. Social media and Patreon, all up top. You're subscribed to any of it, put all the links in the description. All you gotta do is hit the link, follow me, talk to me. Human, I talk back. And if you got a favorite video suggestion, you can subscribe to Patreon or in the description section there's a Google form link. What we got?
How can you tell someone is an American without them telling you they're American?
So I'm American, but I studied abroad in London during college, and we had like some orientation to like tell us about, you know, what it was like studying abroad. And they said, you know, you have to do things because people will notice that you're American. There are things that Americans do that they don't do in England, like smile at strangers on the sidewalk. And I thought, what kind of psychopath smiles at a stranger on the sidewalk? Like, why are you even telling me this? Is super weird. Fast forward, I get to London. I'm excited. I go for a walk around my neighborhood, and people keep looking at me weird. I'm like, God, these guys are kind of assholes. And then I realize I'm the psychopath smiling at strangers on the sidewalk.
Most of us do. We don't even realize because that's just what we do. Like, we see, hey, what's up? You know what I'm saying? We see somebody walking by. Hey, how's your day going? And all good. Awesome, man. See, like, know what I'm saying? We just smile and we say hello. That's what most of us do.
I'm the psychopath smiling at strangers on the sidewalk.
Can you tell someone is an American without them telling you they're American?
Well, Americans, or at least the most of them, they can't drive a manual.
No,
and it's not just that, but when they find out that anyone in the world can drive one, they look at you like you're totally insane. Now, I don't know about America, but at least in most countries in Europe, you don't get a driver license if you can drive a manual. That's like basic stuff for us.
How can you tell someone is an American without them telling you they're American?
So I'm actually American, but I lived overseas for like 10 plus years. I've lived in Africa and Europe, and I've been pretty much everywhere. So let me tell you how I can tell if you're an American tourist or not. One of the biggest definers is how you dress. Any man I see that's wearing cargo shorts, I immediately know is American. Also, footwear tends to be a pretty big identifier. American sneakers are pretty ugly, and lots of people wear sandals overseas. Also, depending on where you are, your height can be a huge identifier. I lived in the Netherlands for 4 years, and the Dutch are a very tall people. So anyone that was 6 foot or shorter, I could kind of tell. Also, the very obvious one is Americans tend to be louder than other people. You pretty much make it known whether you want to or not, because Americans have such loud voices. Also, at least in Europe, Americans tend to dress more for comfort than style. Almost 100% of my fashion sense nowadays is because I lived in Europe. Europeans dress up just to go to the grocery store.
For you, how can you tell?
Yeah. We'll dress. We always dress down. Sometimes I walk out of the house and I feel like I'm not even matching sometimes, and I'm like, I'm just going to the grocery store. I don't care. So I definitely agree with her points on that. I definitely think she's
Europeans dress up just to go to the grocery store.
For you, how can you tell someone is an American without them telling you they're American?
Extremely white and functional trainers or sneakers and baseball caps.
How can you tell someone is an American without them telling you they're American?
I was serving a table of Americans once, and they were driving down from Dublin on a motorway, and they asked us why there was a castle in the middle of the motorway and why we didn't just knock it down to put the motorway through it. The thousands-year-old castle, sure.
How can you tell someone is an American without them telling you they're American?
I can answer this question. I live in Paris currently, and I noticed that us Americans are very loud and excitable. So if you're like in the public touristy areas, and especially on the metro, and see a very loud group of people, 9 times out of 10, they're Americans. My current theory on why that is because Americans have a bigger personal space bubble than Europeans, so we have to yell to get the point across. Also, I don't know if this is exclusively Americans, but we wear a lot of graphic tees with branding on it, and we always get hot and take our coats off. And for some reason, the French never get hot. It can be 75 degrees, and they will wear coats and scarves, and I don't know what witchcraft that is. It must be blood magic, because, they're fine. They're not breaking a sweat. And those, mark us as great targets for grifters and scam artists.
How can you tell someone is an American without them telling you they're American?
Usually it's the clothing. It's either you can see them wearing brands that are not readily available here in Germany or in Europe, or it's a certain style, like an athleisure wear that's just not very common here. Like even to go to the supermarket, people will still throw on a pair of jeans and a sweater, even if it's their messiest look. They'll still kind of look kind of put together, whereas you'll see someone literally shopping in their slippers. And you know that person's an American. People here tend to, kind of dress up even to go shopping. Also, volume.
Okay.
And I myself can be heard from at least 200 feet away when I speak. Yeah.
Sheesh. Okay, so far, loud and clothing are the best ways to know if they're American or not. So far, I've heard multiple of them. Okay, shit, I did not know we were that loud, bro. Like I did not know that. But the more every video I watch, it's like Americans are loud, and so I guess we are that
100
loud.
feet away when I speak. Yeah.
How can you tell someone is an American without them telling you they're American?
So, little story time. So I used to be a waiter at a 4-star hotel near a Formula 1 circuit, and like every so often, because of the circuit, we had loads of people coming from different countries, so Japan, America, Canada, all that sort of stuff. Nice. Had some Americans come in and sit on my table. Their food was included, but their drinks were not, so they were paying for their drinks. I could tell they were American/Canadian. I couldn't tell by the full accent, but I could tell they were American as soon as they tipped, because they tipped a considerable amount compared to their actual bill price, and it was quite a bit of a shock on the actual tipping culture in America.
Question for you. How can you tell someone is an American without them telling you they're American?
Is Hitler still your president?
How can you tell someone is an American without them telling you they're American?
If I ask them where they're from and they start to reply with percentages, they're American. If I tell them I'm Italian and they say they're Italian too because their great-grandpa was an immigrant, they're American.
I never be understanding when people do that, and they be trying to break down like their whole lineage of what is inside them. I don't care. Like tell me what you are. Know what I'm saying? When people ask me what you are, my mother's Hispanic, my dad's African American. I tell them I'm black. I'm African American. Because when most people see me, that's what they think automatically. That's what they assume. So that's what I am. You feel me? I don't be like, I'm 50% this, 20% this, 30% this, 10%. I feel that. And I know people who do that. So I agree with her.
Because their great-grandpa was an immigrant, they're American. If they say stuff along the lines, oh, I have pizza every Saturday night, so we are the same, they're American. If they start to speak in like a mafia boss accent, like the ones from the movies,
let me give you
they're American. If they say, I went to Europe once, they're American. Because they're the only ones who don't know Europe is not just one country. If they don't understand the time on my phone, they're American.
Introducing the world's smartest fence.
I love it.
Halo Collar is a virtual fence.
How can you tell someone is an American without them telling you they're American?
Oh my god, here we go. Obnoxiously loud in public transportation. Will talk slowly to you even though you speak perfect English. Always wearing their collared sweatshirts and a baseball cap.
How can you tell someone is an American without them telling you they're American?
Now that is indeed a good question, because as a European and a Dane, we kind of figure it out quite easily. Here are some of the following statements or comments that I've got or heard. Hej, hvad kan jeg gøre for dig I dag? I'm sorry, I don't speak German. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't realize you were a tourist. What can I get for you today? Oh my god, like your accent, Oh my god, your accent. I cannot believe that you guys in Denmark are so nice, because I thought you were all communists, like the Russians. Excuse me, hey? Yeah, what can I get for you? Would you please translate that on the board, because I don't understand that. Sure thing, it says cappuccino, but that is not a Danish coffee, like, You know, I want a Danish coffee. You mean filterkaffe? Yeah, that one. That is the Danish coffee, right?
How can you tell someone is an American without them telling you they're American?
I'm going to tell a story to answer this question. I used to work at a National Historic Site, and we get a lot of visitors from all over the world. And since this is Canada, whenever you'd interact with a visitor, you'd say hello, bonjour, you know, giving them the choice to speak English or French. Anyway, this guy comes in, and he's got a cowboy hat on, a buttoned-up shirt that's tucked into his jeans, he has leather boots, and to top it all off, his belt has American dollar bills printed on it. So me and my coworkers did our thing. We said, oh, hello, bonjour. And instead of just saying hi and continuing on with things, he stopped in his tracks, looked at us, and said, "We don't speak that funny language." Didn't clarify which language he was talking about, but I think it was French. So yeah, that's how I could tell he was American.
You tell someone is an American.
You can tell from the outfit. You should have, from the jump, the whole outfit should have told you that's an American. You know? And that's probably a Texan. You know? The outfit alone should have told you that. But I feel that
He was
that's
French.
funny.
So yeah, that's how I could tell he was American.
You tell someone is an American without them telling you they're American.
One of the things I learned when I did my study abroad in Ireland is that the way you can tell American is American without having to hear them speak or anything is right here. Tennis shoes. Typically, white tennis shoes. I don't own any white tennis shoes, but only Americans will wear tennis shoes nonstop. Most people in Europe wear like Doc Martens or like a dress shoe that's still really comfortable. But tennis shoes, when they're not at the actual gym, nope. You stand out as an American.
How can you tell someone is an American without them telling you they're American?
They ask you some stupid questions. Like, why is everything closed on Sunday in Germany? Or why do you call soccer football? Or even, why is your coffee so yellow and sparkling?
How can you tell someone is an American without them telling you they're American?
Everything. Absolutely everything. Like, their face. Do you know what I mean? How are you? Shut up!
How can you...
That's hilarious, bro. I love this.
Do you know what I mean? How are you? Shut up!
How can you tell someone is an American without them telling you they're American?
It's actually kind of weird because we can spot you from the distance, and I'm not joking. Like, you have this aura, this glow. You glow American. American tourists are usually very loud, very excited, and in a party mode, and very outgoing. I'm from Germany, so most of the time American tourists are very drunk because you always want to try the German beer, which is great. These are all great things, but German people are usually, I'm not, but German people are usually very down to earth, like low-key, in their own little bubble, don't want to talk to strangers mode, and you're like, I want to be in your bubble, let me in your bubble, which is great, but it can be annoying. But I like American tourists, like especially on pub crawls, drinking beers with them. It's very awesome meeting them, talking to them. Americans are at the Oktoberfest. Who are not?
What is the weirdest perverse interest?
Oh wow! I love that, bro. That was absolutely hilarious. I see how to spot us now, so I know when I travel to another country, I'm gonna be quiet. I'm gonna keep to myself. You're gonna spot me because I probably will still dress comfortably. That's just who I am. I can't. I'm just gonna dress in athletic wear. But that's all we got for this one. If you guys got a favorite video, anything you want to see or hear me react to, you can subscribe to Patreon, leave a suggestion, or in the description section there's a Google form link. Hit the link, fill out your suggestion, send it to me. You want me to get yours faster than others, fill out premium. Make sure you hit subscribe to the channel, ring notification bell, get a video a thumbs up so it gets suggested. Social media and Patreon all up top. You can subscribe to any of it, put all the links in the description. All you gotta do is hit the link, follow me, talk to me, human. I talk back. Love talking to you guys. You guys are the most incredible team in the world. It's your boy D Neal. Out.